everyone, it's Monica. Welcome back to Homeschool Voices. Today, I'm going to give you a great tip on how you can give your kid academic and social opportunities all in one. I have a very easy tip for you guys today. If your kid doesn't have enough friends, I have a great tip. It's also, if there is a topic that requires discussion and you just don't feel like you're getting around to those great conversations the way you want to, my tip is really going to help you out. So here it is. You need to teach a class. I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy, because the class can be super simple. You can use any workbook, any curriculum, any just book as your framework for teaching a class. So here's an example. I am going to teach a class on World War I. Now, I'm not really teaching in the traditional sense. What I'm really doing is guiding these kids through reading and facilitating a conversation. That's all I'm doing. So the book that I'm using is called World War I, The Rest of the Story and How It Affects You Today. So we're gonna go through the book. We're gonna read 5 chapters a week. We're gonna get together at a park. We're going to read out loud, because really kids need this. Kids have a hard time focusing and really getting a lot out of the heavier material. So we're going to read it out loud. As appropriate, we will stop and discuss. At the ends of chapters, we will stop and discuss. I also happen to have a study guide that comes with it. Most books, you can find a study guide for them, or a lot of books. And if you can't find a printed study guide, a lot of times you can find study questions online to guide you. But you don't need that. You just read the book out loud and just talk about anything that's interesting. So at the end, you might assign the kids, hey, you look up this, you look up that, you look up that. For us, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to have the conversation in class, and then for my son, I will tell him, hey, let's look this up, or let's watch this documentary, or something like that. But I'm not going to make assignments to the other kids, because what I find is that they just don't really do the assignments anyway, so I don't want to be a taskmaster. But we'll have those conversations. So what does this do? This gives me a chance to have a framework that will ensure that I will have regular conversations about the material that I want my son to read. It also gives my son new social opportunities. So I think 1 out of the 4 boys that are going to be in the group, one of these boys my son knows, and the other boys are all new. Fantastic. So now we have new friendship opportunities, which is always a good thing. What I usually find for any class that I teach is that the kids will hang out maybe 10 minutes, maybe an hour after the class, and if they're young, they'll play on the playground. If they're older, they'll hang out and talk, which is exactly what we want. So look at what we've done. I have found a problem in my homeschool where we're not really discussing things like I want to. Some of those key subjects that I really want to discuss, we're not discussing. So I found a solution. You know, like I always tell people, don't say because you have problems you need to put your kids into public schools. Because you have problems, you need to find solutions. And that solution isn't putting your child back into public school. So I had a problem. We weren't discussing things, and so this is such a good solution. It just builds in a regular time to read the book and talk about it. So for me, I don't feel the pressure to do really fun activities or make sure we watch documentaries as part of it. You know, if another parent wants to help me, maybe we'll do that. I'm not interested in doing that, and to tell you the truth, a lot of times the kids aren't interested either. All I want to make sure happens is that we read the books and we discuss, and that's what's happening. So you can take this idea and apply it to so many things. You could get an algebra book and go through the algebra book with 3 or 4 other kids. Right now my son is going through a list of coding tutorials. He's doing that with 2 other kids. Then they hang out and have fun afterwards. So you can do certain key activities with other people. The coding thing is great because he can do it, he enjoys doing it, but he gets kind of bored if it's just him and he's doing it by himself. So it's great. So now we have a little group, and we've turned something that's a little boring by yourself into a social activity. So what else? You could get a book like Charlotte's Web and do the same thing. Read it, talk about it. And then, you know what else is good about this format is once the book is done, you're done. So if there were any people in that group that irritated you, that you don't like, you don't have to invite them to the next thing that you do. It's short term. Short term is good. I have found that short term is good. If any of those kids were bad apples, they're bad influences, they don't need to be invited back. And so it's just a really great way of doing things. It solves so many problems and it provides so many benefits. If you like this video, please click thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please click subscribe and the notification bell next to it. I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. And in the meantime, happy homeschooling and have a great day.